people. Hello, people. I hope you're doing fine. This is another day. This is another me, and we're talking about something here today. I'm kind of getting better with those challenges of talking every day because I don't have a script, right? So I'm really going with the flow, and every single day I'm kind of questioning myself into what can I talk about, and for some reason I always find something to talk about, and always finding it even more interesting to talk about it than whatever was going on in my head thinking about it. It's weird. And every time that I check my videos, always more than 10 minutes. And I'm like, wow, I was able to speak for so long with no script at all. Anywho, today we're gonna talk about talents and gift and uniqueness and just being creative altogether because this is something that is so dear to my heart. It's just the creativity, right? I love being able to express myself to whatever I see out there. It could be the videos, it could be the graphics, it could be the design. I kind of share that a bit, but what just fascinating me is really the expression, the purpose, and who you are as a person, right? What that's uniqueness that you have that could be serving a purpose that God Himself gave you, but you're just not aware of that, right? Where you really have to get to the work of just building the relationship for you to kind of build all the layers of what God has for you and the mission that God has for you. And I think it was just so hard for me to kind of pinpoint where I wanted to go with it. But the more I was asking, the more I keep asking. Today again, I was watching another video. Feels like I'm watching every video to be able to be inspired here, but it's not even the point. It's just that I'm getting interested into whatever I'm watching, and usually it just relates to things that I'm probably already thinking, and that just impacts me and that I feel like I want to share. And I was watching Lila Rose. She's somebody that I discovered, I think, a couple of months ago or at least a year ago. She's just fascinating to me. I love her as a person because she's so sweet. She's a pro-life, and she has an organization related to it, Life Action, and she kind of made me learn so much more about just abortion in general and things that I hadn't considered. And that definitely made me re-question my own beliefs about it and my own choices, things that maybe I wouldn't have done if I didn't discover her channel. So that's just fascinating to me in that way, and she brings a lot of topics, especially for women and the womanhood in general. So it would be related to marriage, it would be related to just women in general, motherhood, the feminine, and just it's such a beautiful way. And she's Catholic, so it's always related to God, always. So that kind of just helps me a lot more to be so much more confident into just me being a woman, being a Catholic, and being able to infuse all of that as a creative person and not having to always separate everything. And where the work that I'm doing right now is to integrate everything that I am into being able to help anybody on my way, right? Any woman, because whatever I'm struggling with or that I used to struggle with is probably a lot of things that a lot of women out there could struggle with, because when you live in that modern society and you're really wanting to go back to those traditional values, and you have a lot of things from the modern society telling you not to do it because just everything to be considered as being boring or just to be so bad and negative when you are trying to be traditional, that you have that fear. And if you are in the entrepreneurship, well, as a woman, you're gonna have a lot of both babes. I talked about it yesterday with the womanhood, with the feast of the with the feasts of yesterday related to the Immaculate Conception. I'm having literally brain fogs right now, but that's fine. So I was already talking about the womanhood, and I'm so much more passionate about it, especially as a creative, that today we're going to talk about it a bit more. And we're going to talk about the talents, the gift, because it is where I kind of definitely woke up a lot more watching the video today related to that, because she had her life coach onto the channel where she was bringing everything related to things that I was already talking about, the uniqueness, the gift, the talents, the God-driven talents that we all have, but we just don't know how to apply that in real life. We don't know where to start, we don't know what to do. And she brought me back to one of the passage in the Bible that I'm going to read here, because I think it's still important to kind of hear the words and maybe for you to kind of think about it, right? Keep it in your mind and think about it, explore it. So it's just an openness here that we have. Really up to all of us to kind of work on it a little bit more. So it's it's the parable of talents. One of my favorites. I think it's just where I kind of saw more me being more integrated into what God wanted for me, where it was just not, it was more about those talents and the gift and the uniqueness that I already had in mind, but I just didn't know how to integrate that to my relationship with God. So it's in Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30, 31. Actually 30, from 14 to 30, the parable of talents. And I'm gonna read it for you. So pardon me for my pronunciation. I'm just saying. I could have it in French, but I doubt it's gonna be very helpful for anybody watching this video because it's pretty much English, right? So let's go for it. For it will be as when a man going on a journey called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Now after a long time the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he also who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you delivered to me 2 talents. Here I have made 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little, I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He also who had received the 1 talent came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you did not winnow. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours. But his master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sowed, and gather where I have not winnowed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has the 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have more abundance. But from him who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless talent into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Wow. That's intense. Wow. Now that I'm reading it again, definitely gives me so much thoughts. And probably to you, if you were okay with me reading it with my own pronunciation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it was a bit hard to understand some words, but the basic idea is really about the talents and what God has given and just entrusted in us. And I think the first thing that I would say about this passage is that the talent and the gift that we have is not, we did not come up with that, right? We did not decide which talent we were going to be given. We are to explore and discover them because it's already in us. And I think through the virtues and everything that we work on with our relationship and the gift of the Holy Spirit and all of those gifts, where we kind of develop our own personality, our own, let's say, forces and just gifts, we are managing to understand more of what God is giving us. So the first thing I would say that the talent is not for us. It's like it's not for us to create, it's just for us to discover. And I think whatever God gives is because it definitely has more than a mission for you than for others. He has more of that mission for others than for you. Let me explain. Every time that I was thinking about talent, uniqueness, and just having that gift, I was always thinking about me, like what I would receive for me, right? And how I would take advantage of that for me. Everything that I'm understanding now through the lens of just my faith as a Catholic, as a Christian, is always, always towards other people, always towards the community. Whatever you see in God is going to be through other people, right? That's why we talk about and think about the body of Christ, because we're not sanctifying ourselves. We're getting sanctified through other people, through God. We are cooperating. We have that collaboration with Him, if we will, right? Because we are to say yes or to say no. But regardless of that, we're going to have those talents. We're going to have those gifts. And you can do like the third one that kind of just like and just were hiding that because you didn't have that trust, but you would still have it. But the sad part I would say is that whatever God is going to give you, you're going to have even less of that if it's not being used in that aligned way, the proper way. And the more you're going to use it towards others, the more it's going to come back to you anyways, because at the end of the day, the main part of the relationship here that we have with God, with everything that we're doing, is the love, is the relationship from any child to his papa. I share that a bit, where the basis of all of that is the trust that you have because he is your papa. And I say papa because it's Abba, which is a lot more intimate than just saying father or dad, because it's something that is a little bit more distant when you say it that way. When I say papa in French, I feel the intimate part when I call my dad papa. When I call my dad maman, it's the same way, where it's like something is a lot more intimate here, a lot more close. So when you start to understand the relationship through that lens, you then start building more of that trust with the Lord, because it's not just a distant creator. He's here with you all the time. So any talent that He's giving you is a talent that you are to give to others, because at the end of the day, those other people are the children. And they are to be back and to go back to Him through whatever you're going to do. So your gift, your uniqueness, your talent is not for you to just have a successful business and making so much money and a lot of money, right? It's going to make you happy, definitely here. But the point and end goal of it is to have that great relationship and that loving relationship with the Lord through whatever you're going to do. And that's where you're just starting to become a whole, where it's not about you being a Christian on one side and having a successful business, not just a business in general, in another side. It's a point where you're starting to integrate everything in. That's my own work right now. That's the work that I'm giving to people that I'm working with as well, where every little part that you have can be used for the glorification of the Lord. And that's going to make you happy. That's going to make you fulfilled, where you're going to want to wake up every single day with that joy, even when nothing is perfect, because it doesn't have to be perfect for you to have that joy and to keep that joy and to just have that constant joy, right? It's just because you have that loving relationship with Papa that you start to be more joyful and that everything starts to just coming to you because you are getting to just help other people with your gift, with your talent, with your uniqueness. Now, if you don't trust yourself, how can you trust Papa? Because you're gonna be like the last one that hides everything because it was thinking about whatever the master was just getting out of that deal more than him, what he was, who he was, and why he was even given that talent to start off. And that's how you're just diminishing and just taking away all of the potential that you already have from your own baptism.